Alrighty, gentlemen, so I do have another blade here that is nearly completed. It's almost done. Abalone shell, one of the new prototypes, um, with brass wedge and stacked washers. Now, I am sorry, Richie. I realize that you didn't order stacked washers, so that's something that we're going to need to discuss. So, as you can tell, this razor is still mocked up, not fully completed, but it is absolutely beautiful. That satin finish with the near mirror on the flats really complements, and you can tell how well and how good my finishes are getting. If there was any kind of deviation in that finish, the light would bounce off it weird. So really good to see. I'm really getting good at all this now. The bevel thin and even. Both sides looking pretty perfect in that manner as well. Facets put into here on the shoulder, just so it closes in the scales properly. Monkey tail, rounded spine, and a rounded shank. And there we go. That's also in a satin finish as well. Near mirror on the point, just because I thought the satin finish would look strange with the near mirror on the brass, so I went ahead and followed that. Now, not to toot my own horn or anything, but you know, my scale work, I was doing scales way before making razors, and my scale works really come leaps and bounds. One thing I've noticed either with other makers, and I don't think this is bad at all in other makers, I was the same way, is that either they're good at scales, good at making blades and finishes, or they're good at their shaves. And it's hard to find makers these days that actually do all three. Now, there are makers out there that do that, and I'm not going to list them or anything like that, but I'm finally starting to feel that my finishes on my blades are where they want to be. I've had good shavers and good scales for some time, but yeah, what brought that up was with the finish on the scales. I noticed that there was a bunch of low grit scratches. Not a bunch. I mean, it was fairly not even that noticeable at all. And would the client have noticed it? Probably not. But I was looking at it. You look at it in the light and you try to see if there's any deviation in the finish, and that's what I was doing. I was doing my quality control testing, and I found spots, and so I had a choice: either start over with the finish on the scales, or send out a blade, and you know, more than likely the customer not notice, but still something that I sent out that I didn't do my best of my ability. So, needless to say, I went back and finished that all up. And it really got me thinking about, you know, how far I've come with my scales and how far things have gone. I mean, it'd be really easy to make scales that were just flat, you know. I just take them up, cut them up, glue them on, make the wedge flat so that I don't have to taper that. Don't taper the scales. Don't do any of that. And I can finish scales very fast that way. But in the end, does it give a good product and a good result in the finish and look? No, it doesn't. It functions, absolutely, but it's not my best work. So that's what I try to achieve every blade, and that's what I wanted to press in this little video that I'm making. So I do hope you guys have a wonderful day, and God bless.